what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news, talking this and that. Well, give me all you got and don't hold it back. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Hey, go! Bring me down, can't none bring me down. Your love is too high, bring me down, can't none bring me down. I said, bring me down, can't none bring me down. Your love is too high, bring me down, can't none bring me down. I said, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Hey, go! Bring me down, can't none bring me down. Your love is too high, bring me down, can't none bring me down. I said, because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Hey, hey, hey. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Hey, hey. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Come on. It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. get warm, warm and hot. I get warm, warm and hot. I get warm, warm and hot. I get warm, warm and hot.
Hello, everyone. We like to welcome you to the. Hello, everyone. We'd like to welcome you to the 2022 Youth Summit. My name is Andre McMurtry. I am one of your MCs for tonight, and I also have with me.
Charles McGowan.
Thank you, Charles, for being my partner today. I
You're
think
welcome.
we're gonna knock it out tonight.
Yes, we will.
So once again, today's event with the Youth Summit, we our theme is youth mental health, taking care of yourselves. We like for everyone to sign into the chat, so we like to see who is here and what youth organization that you are representing. We have the following organizations that are signed up,
Neu-Life, Milwaukee Christian Center, Running Rebels, COA, Safe and Sound.
and we also have the Milwaukee Academy. We're going to have giveaways throughout today's event, and you get an opportunity to win some prizes. So make sure you pay attention to the chat. We're going to be asking many questions, and the best answers will receive a prize.
Also, you have to stay for the entire event to get your one of a kind Youth Summit crew neck T-shirt.
Hey, Charles, I have a cool Youth Summit sweatshirt. What about you?
I do too.
Bam. All righty. So just to get today's event started, the Youth Summit event kicking off, we like to welcome Jody Rose, Neu-Life Community Development, and also Arletta Slaughter of Milwaukee Christian Center. Let's have a round of applause for Jody and Arletta. Woo! Woo!
Welcome everyone to the MCSAP Youth Summit. I believe this is our 8th year doing a summit, our second time doing it virtually, which is okay due to the pandemic. We're so glad you all are tuning in tonight. Want to take a couple minutes to thank all the sponsors and partners of our event. Of course, MCSAP, which is the Milwaukee County Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition, run by community advocates. Shout out to Miss Alex. She's the coordinator for that coalition. It is also Light Unite Red Week, which is a event of the week, a week-long event of prevention-related activities for families and youth to take part in. And of course, MCSAP and Community Advocates is the leaders for those. Also a shout out to Drug Free Communities 53206 Project, Ms. Tamika, who helped with some of the planning of the summit. And of course, Milwaukee Christian Center, who is the co-sponsor of this event, and that is Miss Arletta, second year in a row, helping me plan this amazing event. So I will turn over to Miss Arletta.
And thank you once again. So I am Arletta, and I am so grateful that you are here from Milwaukee Christian Center, where we build strong neighborhoods full of opportunity. And now I have the opportunity of introducing our very first speaker of the evening. Her name is Jasmine. Jasmine is a spoken word artist who has a desire to encourage, uplift others. She uses storytelling and poetry to challenge and assist others in finding confidence in their own stories and identities. So at this time, let me see those clapping emojis in the chat, and let's welcome Jasmine Sims. Yes, like you said, I'm Jasmine Sims. Test. Are we back?
Yes, we're good.
I'm Jasmine Sims, and this is a spoken word piece for you all. I can still taste the lies, fighting to find their place beneath my skin, crack like seed so I can blossom the color of fear. And I remember all of these insecurities I would spray against my mirror because nobody told me that it's what's underneath your soil that lets you know if you are a garden or a grave. And wasn't I a coffin, bending my body to these lies and these secrets, living in shame? All of my potential was stunted, curled up beside me in this grave. But ain't I a conservatory of beauty, of truth? Today I vow to be a greenhouse, taking the shame and fear of others, taking it like a seed, giving it back to you and telling you to water it with this truth, to carve this truth in the bark of your bone, that you are valuable, that you are beautiful, that you are whole, and there will always be what's inside of you that chooses to blossom. And I know you know fear. I know you know shame and insecurity, that it has tasted your name and it knows the texture of your skin, but this story is yours. So take your pen back, take the narrative back, and write your truth across this earth, because we need you. No matter how we behave and act, the truth is always deep inside of us. And ain't you a conservatory of beauty? Aren't you a rose, one that blossoms? And I know sometimes you are afraid of your own thorns, but isn't that what makes us beautiful? Makes us worth the work, worth the sweat, worth the tears. And you are my favorite song. So would you please sing for me? Let your voice crack from the pressure. Let it crack from the night, because you are beautiful and your smile is daybreak amidst a mahogany sky. What's beneath your soil is marvelous. So tell your story. Do not be afraid of their faces. Don't let your age tell you lies. Wisdom does not always come with years. Sometimes it simply comes through trial and error. And I know us grown folks, sometimes we get real ignorant when it comes to the youth, but I know the truth, that you are beautiful, that you are wise beyond your years, that you are beautiful beyond your scars. So like I said, it's what's beneath your soil that lets us know if you are a grave or a garden. And when I look at you, all I see is greenhouse. All I see is beauty. So I'll ask you again, ain't you a conservatory of beauty? Thank you, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's have another round of applause for Jasmine. That was fire.
Yes, it was. Now I will be now I will be introducing Dr. Joe Johnson. Dr. Joe Johnson is a highly regarded international speaker on unleashing your purpose. He was worked with dozens of prominent organizations in the United States, like Toyota, FedEx, and the National Guard, helping to transform culture and develop employees professionally and personally, with the PhD in counselor education, common sense, and the streets and street sense. Dr. Joe's versatility has allowed him to gain over 20 years of experience in transformation work. Let's welcome Mr. Joe Johnson, Dr. Joe Johnson.
What's going on, everybody? I hope all is well. I hope everybody can hear me. Give me some thumbs up in the chat if you can hear me. Give me some yeses if you can hear me in the chat. I want to make sure everybody is tuned in. What's going on? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Let me see that in the chat. I want to make sure you can hear me. There we go. I see some fists. I see you, Nigel. I see you. I see you, Sammy. I see you. Thank you. Thank you. So listen, I'm gonna jump right into this thing because it's so important for me. What's up, brother Deshaun? The homie there. So let me just share this with you, because I'm originally from Milwaukee, but I'm not here right now. Right now, if I can show you where I am, it's beautiful. I'm in the sun. There's no snow. It's not cold. But I want to share this with you because I'm a proud graduate of Milwaukee Public Schools. I grew up in 53206. But what I want to say is my mindset that I have now is not the same as when I grew up. Let me say that again. The mindset that I have right now is not the same when I grew up. See, there's something about this ability for us to transition to something new and into somebody new in order for us to get to the next level. Let me see in the chat, all my young people here, if you want to get to the bag, type yes in the chat right now. If you want to get to the bag, type yes in the chat right now. I'm watching. I see you. Elijah, I see you. Michaela, I see you. Yes, yes. I think it's Jamari Pierce. I see you. So I see you. Let me tell you something right now. Because what I'm about to say to you is not about the money. What I'm about to say to you is all about purpose, right? And when you happen to align yourself with your purpose, you just so happen you just so happen to be able to get to the bag, right? But the bag isn't always money. See, let me be clear on that. The bag might be peace. The bag might be a clear state of mind. The bag might be getting in an environment where you're not always operating in chaos. The bag might be getting away from those toxic individuals that may be in your life right now. The bag might be you just so happen to maybe get that Corvette or that 8-bedroom home. But let me tell you something. When I talk about getting to the bag, it's important to understand the power of working on this, your mindset, your heart set, and your soul set. Because I don't know about you, but one of the things that I was taught growing up in Milwaukee, I grew up on 20th and Vienna, is I had to be loyal. And too many of us are loyal to nouns. We're loyal to people, places, and things that are no longer helping us get to the next level. And see, one of these things that we've been loyal to, because once again, we've been programmed, is that mental health or going to see a therapist makes you crazy. I'm gonna tell you right now, I have a therapist. And if it wasn't for me in my darkest time going to a therapist, I don't know where I would be. And I would not be able to go to my next level, or I would not have been able to go to my next level unless I saw a therapist. See, the first things first is you have to have this right before you can do anything else in the world. And what a lot of us do is we like to follow the trends of the people that we know. We like to follow the trends of our families. We like to follow the trends of what people are doing in the city. I'm here to let you know that you may have to be the one that breaks the cycle from generational curses. And one of the generational curses that all of us have had is that we haven't worked on our mental health. We haven't worked on ourselves in totality. We've worked on pieces of ourselves, but the reality is you must work on your whole self in order for you to get to that next level that you want to go to. So part of getting into the bag is being aware. Like some of y'all have some friends, let me know. Some of y'all have some friends that don't know, and this might sound funny. Some of y'all got some friends or people y'all around that be like, you don't know that you musty, right? Give me some number. Type the number 1 in the chat if you know somebody's, and don't say their names, but you like, what is that smell? And people don't smell themselves. Let me be real. Type the number 1 in the chat if you know what I'm talking about, right? But what I mean by that is sometimes people are walking around with this funk. See, some of y'all thought I was talking about physically musty. No, I'm talking about they're walking around with this funk where they don't know that they stink. Everybody else can see it, but they can't see it. Why? Because they lack that level of awareness and, write this word down, insight. They don't see themselves the same way the world sees them. You ever meet that individual that think they so fly, so cool? They think it, but nobody else think it. You meet that individual that think they think that they the coolest person on the planet. They look the best, they the best, they so cocky, but they can't see the funk in themselves. See, it's a lot of musty people walking around on this earth that don't know they're musty. Why? Because once again, they don't have this awareness of themselves or the insight to realize that they need help to see themselves so that they can get to the next level. See, the next level for some of you all may be, okay, I need to go to school more often. The next level may be, you know what, I need to stop hanging around these individuals. The next level may be, you know what, I got to get away from what my family been doing, because some of our families been going to jail over and over and over again for years. All we know is jail. All we know is drugs. All we know is alcohol. All we know is this foolishness. And you may have to be the one to break the cycle. But in order for you to do that and get to the bag, you got to get this right. What is it going to take for you to say to yourself, I don't care what nobody else thinks. I'm going to work on myself so that when it's time for me to move to whatever next level I'm trying to get to, it's easy for me to get there. See, all of y'all been programmed to think that certain things are cool. And as you go up and up and up, as you get older, right, as you get wiser, you'll realize that there are some things that you're thinking right now that will no longer work for you when you're transitioning to your next level. And part of your process in that is making sure you go do the necessary work to work on your mental health, your wellness, mindset, heart set, soul set. You have the power. You have all the power. And guess what? You're going to lose some friends in the process. You're going to break up in some of these relationships in the process. Some of your family members going to be mad at you, right? Some of the people that's at your church or in whatever religion that you're in, they may be mad at you, but I'm here to let you know, when you seek for understanding, when you seek to be a better person, when you seek to get somebody to help you, because we got to step away from this phrase, I'll figure it out, because the reality is you cannot figure it out on your own. But in your journey up, as you get to the bag, as you begin to see what's in the bag that's for you, as you get that awareness, as you get that insight, things will become clear. You will begin to get into alignment and that purpose that's already here. Because you don't find your purpose, you don't discover your purpose. It's a God-given gift that's already in you. It's spiritual. It will be released. And as Meek Mill says, it's levels to this. It's levels to your purpose. But being able to align yourself and understand yourself, that mental health, that wellness is going to be the number one piece in order for you to grow and get to the bag. Listen, I'm not the richest man in the world, but I'm starting to find my peace. I'm running in my purpose. I got the right people around me. I'm raising 2 Black boys that I'm gonna make sure it don't take as long for them that it took for me, right? But I want you to understand this. In order to get the places that you have never been in your life, you're gonna have to be willing to do things that you have never done. I'm gonna say that again. In order for you to get to places and be able to do things that you have never done, you're going to have to do things that you've never done. And part of that is working on your mental health, going to see a therapist. Maybe you're doing some meditating. Maybe you're stepping away from the people who are toxic in your life. But if you don't do that, you'll be stuck and you'll be wondering why I can't create the life and career I desire. Listen, as I always say, your purpose and your profit is directly connected to your individual healing. Work on your mental health. Don't be scared of it. Everything that you desire is waiting for you, but you have to put in the work. I'm gonna see who's gonna take action right now. If you're gonna take action right now, I got something for you. I want you right now, if you have a Cash App, put your Cash App in the chat. First person to do it, I got something for you, right? I'm gonna treat you to lunch. Why? Because you deserve it. You're here. You took your time right now to be with us, and I want to say thank you. So put your Cash Apps in the chat, and I'm gonna make sure that I get those Cash Apps, and I'm gonna treat you to lunch. The first 3, 4 people that I see in the chat, I'm treating you to lunch. My name is Dr. Joe Johnson. Go follow me on Instagram at Joe Johnson Speaks. It's all about getting to the bag, but we do that through aligning ourselves and getting and unleashing our purpose. I'm Dr. Joe Johnson. Pursue your purpose, not your dreams. Take care.
thank you so much, Dr. Joe Johnson, for the kind words. And I'll tell you what, your presentation was very rich. And
Yeah.
and I'm gonna see if Dr. Joe Johnson is gonna treat me to Cheesecake Factory. What do you think, Charles?
Yeah.
So at this time, ladies and gentlemen, the audience, we like to participate in some giveaways. And we'll start by asking you to put in the chat one of the words that Dr. Joe Johnson told you to write down. What was one of the words Dr. Joe Johnson wanted you to put in the chat? Go ahead and participate, and we're going to give away some goodies. Oh, you got a bunch of winners already? Wow. All right, keep them. I'm, they understood the
They got it
assignment.
quick.
All right, I guess a lot of folks were paying attention. Okay, at this time, I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Brooks Griffin, live in the house. Brooks Griffin is the Corporate Social Responsibility Coordinator with the 2021 NBA champion Milwaukee Bucks. In his role, Brooks coordinates a team dedicated to addressing racial injustice and social inequities in the state of Wisconsin, especially as they impact Black and Brown communities. Before joining the Milwaukee Bucks during the COVID-19 pandemic, Brooks worked 15 years for a diverse range of youth and family-serving nonprofits, after-school centers, and government agencies. Brooks specializes in youth health and well-being and has successfully served a variety of local and national partners. Let's have a warm Milwaukee Bucks shout out and applause for Mr. Brooks Griffin.
This one. Perfect, perfect. What's up, everybody? Super excited to be here. Neu-Life. Super excited to be here for another year or two. I got the invite to be with this youth summit. We're here to talk about mental health matters. And it definitely does matter. It matters, and you matter. I think about just the presentation that Dr. Joe just put out. He talked about purpose, and it means so much, and you have to embrace that we all have a purpose, even though life may get hard, and especially the effects from the pandemic may pull at us. We're here on purpose today, and I'm just super excited to be here for here. So again, as the introductions put, my name is Brooks Griffin. I'm a proud member of the Milwaukee Bucks, world champion Milwaukee Bucks. I hope that we can say it again real soon, but I'm here to be just really a transparent living example of what can be really possible for you. Born and raised from Milwaukee, raised on 5th and North, and definitely have felt a lot, especially in my teenage years, of what is a dream? What is my purpose? What is my identity? Why am I here on earth? And I believe that this workshop, right, this conversation may be for you if you're that young person that may be struggling, that has a dream. If you're a young person that want to be on the court playing side by side with Giannis, or if you want to be in the community, leading organizations such as Neu-Life that can create impact for the cities, especially for our Black and Brown families in Milwaukee. I'm here to give a little inspiration that you can do whatever you put your mind to. And even if you put your mind to something, you can even do something more than that. And then I'm gonna give you a 3 simple step approach, right? I believe it's 3 things that you can do to achieve unlimited possibilities. So if you got that piece of paper written, I may ask you at the end of this workshop as well, what are the 3 things? And I'm gonna give it to you. 1, you got to heal from your past. You got to heal from your past. In order to achieve unlimited success, you got to heal from your past. 2nd, you got to grow into your purpose. You got to grow into your purpose after you heal from your past. And lastly, we got to lead our world with love. We all know our world needs love right now, but it may be a call that's just designed for you. But Brooks, what do you mean when you got to heal from your past? I think about myself. My story really starts AAU tournament on Easter Sunday, 2010. I had the privilege to play basketball, and I played for George Karl. For Bucks fans that I should say true Bucks fans that know about George Karl. He was the head coach for the Milwaukee Bucks. And as a 16 and 17-year-old, I had the privilege to play basketball underneath NBA staff and those that worked around the game. And I was that young person that thought they had a chance. But this AAU weekend on Easter Sunday kind of was a barrier to the success. I found myself inside of a mental health complex, being of a product of divorced parents, going between mom, going between dad. Dad says this, mom says this, and long story short, decided to put my hands up and said enough is enough. I know that our city is hurting. I remember the pains and feeling as a young boy to know the pain of hurt. But when we can come together and heal each other, I believe that's when we can go to our future. See, in that mental health complex where I thought that my story was over, when I gave up in life and I didn't want to go even more, I learned the power of spirituality. I learned the power of purpose. I learned the power of identity, but it starts with your wellness. It starts with how we look at every dimension of who you are, and we can make sure that we take care of ourselves. So the question I want to ask to yourself, if you may ask, how do you heal from your past? You can ask yourself one question: am I well? Am I well? Are you going to school? Can you ask yourself, am I well? While you're at home, can you sit on the couch and ask yourself, am I really well? It's when we can really identify the problem, that's when we can really get towards the solution. And even now, even being a part of the Bucks, I have to ask myself, am I well? Am I well mentally? Am I well physically? Am I well emotionally? Am I well spiritually? Because all of these dimensions make who you are. Once you answer that question, if you're well, then I believe you're able to step into your second step, which is to grow into your purpose. Once you heal from your past and you're ready and you're excited, you're inspired, you know the world can't got nothing against you, and you take that step into doing what you're on earth to do. I ask you, what's your purpose? What's your purpose? Why are you here on earth? Do you ask yourself that? Does that ever go through your mind? See, I also want to encourage you that your purpose is in your hand. And without a plan, there is not a vision. Without a plan, there is no purpose. So as a moment, if we were in a workshop and I had you all sitting in front of me, I'm super excited that we're all virtually. I'll have you look at your hand. Oh, I got a ring on my hand. That's nice too, look. See, I want you to look at your hand and really to remember that your purpose is in your hand. Your purpose in your hand. If everyone puts up your thumb, right? Look at your short-term goals. What do you want to do within the next week? What do you want to do within the next month? What do you want to do tomorrow? But understand that your goals are in your hand. Your purpose are aligned to your goals. If you look at your long finger, what's your long-term goals? Where do you want to be in 2 to 3 years? I was working in youth centers and didn't see myself working in the NBA. Didn't even know that it was possible. But I knew I wanted to stay around the sport of basketball. And knowing how basketball can be a bridge to address social and racial equity, that long-term goal was making sure basketball was a part of my future. If we put up our middle finger, see, we may have parents, we may have principals watching, so we're going to keep these other two fingers up. But the middle finger is something that we hang up when we hate it, right? We hate things, and just think about school, right? We know school is stressful. We know school, especially during the pandemic where you're going virtual, you're going in person, you got to worry about your health, and then you're seeing everything on the media, but then you're also stressed out because you know you want to be your best version of yourself. But what is your goal? I know we all want to graduate, but where do you want to go to college? If college is not in your vision, where do you want to go into workforce? See, the Bucks is always hiring. We're looking for individuals that are passionate, that has a heart to be able to give back to the community, but then also that's able to work on the team. If you look, then you put up your ring finger. And as you see, I got my ring finger here, right? And I wear this proudly even outside of the work because it reminds me of a dream. It reminds me of a dream, but it also reminds me of my commitment. When you often think of a ring finger, you think of being married. You think of long-term commitment. I'm asking you, what are you committed to? If you're trying to figure out what your purpose is, if you're trying to figure out why you're on earth, ask where your commitment. Is it to your friends? Is it to your family? Is it to your grades? Is it to your values? I'm telling you, your purpose looks good on you. And then lastly, your pinky finger. The finger that you may not think about, the pinky that may get thought about it away. I'm telling you, it's your dream job. It's your dream that's possible. And even though it may seem small, even though it may seem unattainable, Your purpose is in your hand. And when you can take your short term, your long term, your school goals, you can take your mentorships around you and those that really want to invest in you, it's going to lead you to your pinky. And I'm here just to even show you that within your hand, that your purpose looks good on you. So once you heal from your past and you're able to grow into your purpose, lastly, the last step for you can tap into unlimited possibilities is to lead with love. Last question I want to ask is, what's your definition of love? There's so many definitions around. You can look at it if you got a boyfriend, if you got a girlfriend. You can look at it if you got a mom or dad. You can look at it from friend to friend. But really, what's the foundational definition do you have? See, I get challenged by myself and ask that self too. What is love, Brooks? Even in the midst of stress, even in the midst of barriers, even in the midst of wanting to get everything that we put our mind to, I know I need to be loved. I know I want the world to love me, but then also I know in my heart how much I want to pour love back too. It's that unconditional, that reciprocal type of conversations and love and empathy and compassion that we can pour back. See, we're in a new time now. Let's blame it on COVID. Let's say because of COVID, now we got an opportunity to show love. Let's blame it on COVID and say now we got an opportunity to unite. Let's blame it on COVID and say now I got an opportunity to be the change. See, love is a noun. It's not a verb. And I'm here to tell you that you are loved, but because you have a purpose. And because you have a purpose, you have a story. And because you have a story, it may mean that you have to heal from the past. It may mean you have to look at things when you were a child. It may mean that you may have to have hard conversations. But I'm telling you, this world needs you. You matter. Mental health matters. But holistically, your purpose is what's needed in this world. Even outside of the jobs, even outside of the homes, right there in your community, right where you're at right now, the world needs you. See, I sit back now and I have the coolest job to be able to work side by side with Giannis and Chris Middleton and work with different corporate partners in the organizations, and not just to shoot a hoop and put it in the basketball, because I'm definitely not on the court, but I got an opportunity to pour love back into the community for those that may not feel love, for those that may be feeling anxiety, for those that may be feeling those feelings of stress. We can wrap our arms around, and as I sit back and I remember the dreams and I just remember the championship and seeing the community come together as one, I'm telling you, your purpose is aligned with that. And we need you more than ever before. If you never heard of an adult, if you never heard anybody say that we need you, let me be the first one to tell you. Because if we can heal from our past in order to grow into our purpose, then I know that we can lead our world with love. So again, thank you, Neu-Life, for giving me the opportunity to come speak at another great youth summit. But again, I want to challenge each and every one of you. If you know that the world needs love, if you know it's in your home, if you know it's within yourself, if you know it's within the school, then that call is for you. I'm here behind you. Neu-Life is here behind you, but we're super excited to be inspired. Thank you.
Okay, clap it up for Brooks Griffin.
Make some noise.
Now we will be doing a giveaway. The first person to put Go Bucks in the chat will win a nice gift card.
And we have plenty of gift cards, variety of different stores and restaurants, and something that you would definitely enjoy.
A lot of them.
Hey, did you see that ring that Brooks had on?
Yeah,
I got the fake one, but
it was nice.
I think I might want to try to get a picture of that real one. So at this time, we like to announce our next speaker.
Miss Sharice. Sharice strives to encourage and draw the younger generation to Christ through love, kindness, and and personal experience that have resulted in revelations from God. She is devoted Christian and an all-around people lover. She desires to share Jesus with everyone, especially young women, single and teen moms, victims of abuse, and people suffering from depression and low self-esteem, because she has been each of these anonymous. She is the author of 10 books and creator of the Healing Project, which is a nonprofit organization geared towards the healing and inner cultivation of women who desires wholeness and a higher level of self-esteem. Let's welcome Miss Cannon.
Hi, everybody. I am super excited to be here again. My name is Sharice. You may know me as Sharice Cannon, or you may see Sharice Locke. Whichever one, I'm still the same girl. So I'm super excited to be here. This is my first time being a part of the Neu-Life Summit. It's like different for me because I don't typically talk to the youth, which I want to do more. So this is super exciting that I got a chance to do it. So I'm so happy that you guys are having me. And I hope that you could take something away from what I'm saying today. I just have a couple things that I want to talk about in a few words. I'm not going to talk to you all day, I promise. I'm just give you a little piece, but I just want to share about my journey and what has helped me be mentally healthy. I think as a teen, as when I was growing up and when I was in school, I wasn't really taught what it was like to manage what's going on in my head and also what's going on in my heart, because managing both of those took balance. And that's another thing that I just was not taught. So as I grew into an adult, I realized how important it was to learn that young, because if I could carry those practices into my adult life, I probably would have avoided a lot of stuff that I went through. So I just kind of want to talk about the things that I believe helped me when I started to walk on a path of getting healthy when it comes to my mental and when it came to my heart. So if you're like me, you talk a lot. I talk a lot. So in school, it was like always on my report card, a good talker, great presenter, or too talkative. But that's just because I had a lot of thoughts going on in my head. I was a creative person, so I can make these pictures in my mind, and I can think through scenarios and situations. But as I became an adult, that kind of worked against me because I didn't cultivate it in a positive aspect. So whenever I would run into something negative, I would think myself into this negative hole. And it would push me into like sadness and depression, or even pushing away people that I needed. And so what I began to do as I got older, I was about 22 when I decided that I would actually start writing, because I didn't know how to articulate what was going on in my head and in my heart. And so I decided to start writing. And through that writing, I began to learn myself. I began to learn what I liked, what I didn't like, what was good for me, what mistakes I had made, because we need to take accountability for our mistakes sometimes. When we do that, we begin to take the outside approach. When I began to write it out, I was able to be that person on the outside looking in, not just the person that was experiencing it, but I could really break down and dissect what I was going through in order to heal myself. And so as I began writing, I began to take accountability. I began to learn myself. I began to learn my patterns, the patterns that did work, the patterns that didn't work, the things that hurt me, the things that built me. So writing was my creative outlet. And that's kind of what I want to share with you guys today is find yourself a creative outlet. Learn yourself. I have found that learning myself was the best decision that I could make for my own mental health, because I have to live with me every day. When we lay down in our beds at nighttime, when we spend alone time, who's there? Your thoughts. Your thoughts are always there. Your mind is always kind of just going, and it's happening literally 24/7. You go to sleep and your subconscious is running and you're dreaming about the things you're going through during the day. And I can tell you, if you do not get that out, if you do not learn yourself, you're going to adapt to whatever is around you. And so with me, what began to happen is I began to hang around people that I felt like I wanted to be them. It wasn't more so peer pressure. It was, I didn't know who I was. And so I was like, maybe if I stick close enough to them, they will help me define myself. Maybe if I did this, it would help me figure out what I liked and what I didn't like, instead of sitting down and looking at myself. And so I got myself into a lot of trouble. I got into a lot of trouble as a teenager. But at about 19, I realized that that wasn't what I wanted for my life. And so as I began to write, as I began to fall into those positive activities, other things to do, to get out stress. What is a way that you relieve stress? I encourage you to write that down. And so we have a quick second, and I don't know if you have the materials, but use your brain. So I'm a hands-on creative type of person. So I just want you to do this activity with me, okay? So I want you to draw a tree. I do this all the time, you guys. I do it all the time because I'm always changing. So draw a tree and then draw some branches, okay? And then write your name on the trunk. And then on those branches, write what you know about yourself. What do you know based off of what you know? Not from what other people tell you, not from what your mom thinks about you or your dad or your uncle or your family, not from what TV is telling you to think about yourself or social media. What do you know about yourself right now? If you can't fill in a lot of those branches, that's okay, because that's where I was. And I was like, my branches are empty. It was looking like wintertime. But as I began to spend more time with myself and I came back to my tree, I began to fill those things in. And I use a tree because trees give life. The more I figure out who I am, the more I'm able to give off life to others. The more I'm able to figure out my identity, the more I'm able to comfort others, to be there for others, to encourage others. I cannot do that with no leaves on my tree. If you see a tree without leaves, plants are made to give oxygen. They are made to help us breathe. They are also there for beauty. Have you ever just sat back and looked at a tree full of leaves? Think about yourself. Think about when you fully learn your identity. Think of those branches being filled. I know this about myself. I know that about myself. Think about how beautiful you become on the inside, or what you look like to other people. People can detect when you know who you are. This is why sometimes they try to project certain identities onto you, because they want you to be different, because 9 times out of 10, they don't know who they are either. So look at your tree. Is your tree full? If it's not, I'm not judging you, and it's completely okay. But my advice to start sprouting in your mental health, to start pushing yourself for those things that are going on in your mind and in your heart, is to start learning yourself. Find an activity that you love and do it. That may open the door to friends who have things in common, to opportunities. And the more you go through these experiences, because it's what you wanted, not what someone else put on you, the more you learn yourself, the more beautiful you become from the inside out, the more life you give off, the more joy you have, the more peace you have, the more you can love others, because knowing yourself does something about loving yourself. The more I learned myself, the more I was like, you pretty cool, girl. I like you. So I encourage you to keep that tree, put it on your wall. I don't know, fold it up, put it in your wallet, save it in your phone. If you got to draw it out, because I know y'all got nice fancy phones, draw it out, do something, save your tree. And the more you can fill up those branches, think about how much life you're going to give off to yourself and to others when you begin to learn yourself. That was all I had to say, guys. And I hope that it helped you. And I hope that activity was something that you can take with you. Again, I'm super happy to be here. I'm super stoked. It was my first time doing something like this. So I'm just excited. And I hope you guys took something today. Again, my name is Sharice. I love to see people healed and I love to see people whole, and I want to see you healed and whole. So thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for your presentation, Sharice. That was awesome. I think she is very cool. So speaking of trees, Charles, I'd like to do a giveaway. And how about here's the giveaway. Please write in the chat the answer to what color thumb does a person have that's good at taking care of plants? What color thumb, what is the color? Okay, so we got folks putting in already. Yeah. Okay. Special shout out to those who are got the correct answer.
Good job, you guys.
Okay, at this time we like to introduce the next speaker, live entertainment that's going to be going on very shortly. We'd like to introduce Malik Johnson. Malik Johnson, aka 99 the Producer, is a classically trained cellist, composer, and music producer based in Chicago. Malik has worked with the Matt Jones Orchestra, which has opened the doors for him to appear on NPR's Tiny Desk in 2017, record on John Legend's Christmas album released in 2018, featured on Kirk Franklin's Grammy Award-winning album, Long Live Love, and worked with countless other professional and local recording artists. Let's welcome, performing from Chicago remotely, Malik Johnson.
Thank you. Can everybody hear me? Can I get a thumbs up in the chat if we can hear me? Thumbs up. Okay, thank you all for having me. I was here last year, but it's always a blessing to come and play and share my gift with you all. I just want to say real quick that I just absolutely love that everything all the speakers before me have said regarding purpose, regarding love, regarding just alignment and finding yourselves. And I really liked how Mr. Brooks talked about purpose is in your hands. And it's quite literally for me, my purpose is in my hands by playing the cello. I feel like I'm very blessed to just perform in various spaces and just kind of, you know, play music all around the world. I'm very blessed to do that. And without that, I don't know where I would be. So I'm blessed that the cello has allowed like many doors to open in my life. And I'm just so grateful. And one of my favorite things to do is play my favorite songs on the cello. I'm not gonna tell you the names of the song. If you know the songs, you can just spam them in the chat. But I'll start out with this first one. And if you know it, sing along. But okay, here we go. Thank you. Um, that was fun. That was a song by Tim's and WizKid. So thank you. I think someone asked what my Instagram is. It's 99 the producer. Um, I'll play one more song. It's a quick little song. I'm sure you guys will know this. It's by one of my favorite artists. Her name's SZA. Okay, here I go. Thank you all for having me. Hope that was great. Yes, thanks. See you all.
All right, y'all. Let's give it up for the music and entertainment of Malik Johnson.
Today I'll be today I'll be introducing Jamal Smith. Jamal Smith of the City of Milwaukee Health Department is the new violence prevention manager and office of violence prevention. A proud native of Milwaukee and graduate of Milwaukee Public Schools. Jamal has committed the last 10 years of his life to serving the Milwaukee community. Jamal earned his bachelor's degree in computer science from Alabama State University and his master's degree in public administration from the University of Phoenix. His previous roles have included serving as education chair for NWACP Milwaukee and organizer with Safe and Sound. Let's welcome Jamal.
I'm going. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, thank you for the opportunity to be here. It's truly an honor to have this discussion with you all. Again, my name is Jamal Smith. I'm the Community Injury and Violence Prevention Manager for the City of Milwaukee Office of Violence Prevention. So my work is centered around public policy analysis on a city, county, state, and a federal level, working for the opportunity to bring strategies that elevates violence prevention, working with the community, engaging the community around violence prevention strategies, as well as the education and implementation of our Blueprint for Peace, which is a community-driven foundational framework centered around violence prevention and getting that from a public health lens. But I'm not here to talk about the work that I do with the Office of Violence Prevention, not here to talk about all of the many meetings and the work that goes into focusing on prevention work in terms of the office, but I am here to have a conversation and to talk to you all about the importance of wellness and mental health. One of the things that we do within the office is we always elevate the importance of healing, restorative practice, restorative justice. And I want to talk to you all from the lens of healing because of the fact that we all know that there are multiple various forms of violence that we all deal with, whether that's physical violence, whether that's mental violence, but we also have to include the impact of systemic violence and knowing that such isms like racism, discrimination, segregation, all of those still exist. And the reason why that's important is because you all are still being privy to all of that happening, right? We still have those various social ills that are occurring. Milwaukee is actually labeled, and I don't mean to bring any doom and gloom, but Milwaukee is actually labeled as the worst city for African Americans in this country. And knowing that this is something that young people have to face every day in addition to everyone else is such a challenge because of the fact that it seems like as much progress, marginally or small progress, that has been made in terms of overcoming some forms of racism, we know that it still exists, right? So in addition to that, knowing what we have to deal with within our own communities, right? We know that crime is tough. We know that violence is tough. We know that gun violence is an issue. But the beauty of all of this is the fact that we are sitting here right now for this summit. And this is something that we can label as a positive interaction, right? Something that's not discussed enough, in my opinion. And for you all to be here, knowing that there are other things that you all can be doing, you can be involved in, it's such a joy to know that so many young people are more engaged in really being the change in this city than people want to give credit for. So I think you all should make sure that you give yourselves a round of applause in the process of knowing that everything that you all have committed to. But when we talk about healing, the reason why that's so important is because how can you get past any incidences of violence and move forward towards working to change our city if you're still dealing with the pain that's inside of you from some of the violence that you may have occurred or may have endured, right? Whether that's something you've seen directly, something directly impacted you, or maybe somebody that you know has been impacted directly by violence, right? For example, for me, in 2017, one of my best friends, his name was Patrick Presley, was shot and killed on New Year's Day of 2017. And that was really tough for me because he was one of my best friends. He was always there in terms of supporting me and my wife and supporting our son. Matter of fact, he always called my son's name is Aaron. Every time he saw him, he said, "Oh, there go my nephew, Aaron." Like that's the relationship that we had. So for him to not only have been to have lost his life, but in the manner that he lost his life, that's impactful on me because that's someone that's close to me. So it took for me to actually say, I need to do my healing in order for me to be a healer, right? There's a lot of times where we try to do this work or we try to move for the benefit of the community and we're still dealing with our own struggles. We're still dealing with our own pains, our fears, our frustrations, our anxiety, all of those different ills that come into us physically based on some of the experiences that we have. But what's amazing about that is we have the opportunity to overcome them, right? And ways that you can overcome them is one, making the decision of saying, I need to do something better for myself. The first step in rehabilitation is always acknowledging there's a problem, right? So when you know that there's a struggle, when you know that there's something that's happening, it's saying, I need to get my help. I need to get help. And then the next thing is surrounding yourself with positive people that will be able to help elevate you through the process, provide feedback when you may have a setback, but then also celebrate you on the journey towards progression. Malcolm X said that if you replace I with we, even illness becomes wellness, right? So it's the fact of surrounding ourselves with the people who are willing to uplift us, those positive figures in our lives, right? Because of the fact that it always takes a village, right? We know that concept where it takes a village to raise children or to raise a child. And one of the questions I always ask is what happens when the village is hurting? So that means everyone has to be at the table when we talk about healing, right? You can't get to prevention without first being willing to heal. And when we talk about mental health, there's so much that we're exposed to every day, right? You know, whether it's even what you see in your neighborhood, right? Seeing dilapidated buildings, boarded up houses, right? Seeing crime, seeing violence, seeing lack of resources, a lack of access to resources in our neighborhoods. That can have a psychological effect on you, in addition to some of the other various traumas that you may deal with. But we are here to encourage you and to tell you that there's a way to overcome that. I was born in 1980. I know, 41 years old, and I was raised in that zip code that everybody always labels as the worst worst in the country, right? 53206. But some of the things that I learned from growing up in that area was the beauty of resiliency, dedication, hard work, community, love, power. All of those things exist. So what I want to say to you all is that even in the midst of struggle, even in the midst of chaos, even in the midst of pain, there's always an opportunity to progress. And the fact that you have people that are surrounding you that are willing to help you within that progression is always going to be the most positive thing about that. It's the most powerful thing that's necessary in terms of how you move on your journey, right? But it's always a focus of figuring out the best things to do for self. You can't be good to anyone else if you're not first good to you, right? You have to take care of you to take care of others. And the first step when we talk about taking care of ourselves is the mere fact of being willing to step outside of what has become normal, what has become comfortable to some degree, and saying, I'm going to change my environment. I'm going to change the people around. I'm going to change even my words, because how you speak even can be something that is either detrimental or it's uplifting. So even speaking positive affirmations every day. I tell my son always every day, when I take him to school, the moment I drop him off, he always says, I am great, I am powerful, I am amazing. He says that every day because I want him to know that he is actually great, powerful, and amazing. But it takes the opportunity for someone to say, you can speak that into your life. And then the moment you speak it, believe it and live it. And that's what's the challenge that I'm putting out to all of you. What you speak over your life is how you move and how you live. So I'm admonishing all of you, make sure you're speaking positive over yourself. Speak positive about your life. Speak positive about who you are. Regardless of what anybody else may say, know that you are enough. No one can take away the value. Quincy Jones said that no one else can take my life, or nobody can tell me about my life or the quality of my life more than me. So why would I give you any inkling that you matter if you're not, unless you're helping me? Right? So the importance of all of this is to be in a space to know that the people who are around you we are here to help you. You're sitting right in your respective organizations, wherever you are watching this video. And I know that there are always going to be challenges in front of you. But the beautiful thing is there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. So for every bit of struggle that happens on your journey, embrace it. Embrace that journey. Embrace the progression, because you know at the end, there's going to be reward. There's going to be something that comes out of it, out of all of the hard work that you did. So keep moving, keep striving, keep pushing, keep building, keep elevating, right? That's always going to be the key when we talk about the ways to overcome our struggles and overcome the trauma that we deal with. So again, it was definitely an honor to be here. I'm looking forward to seeing everything that you all are going to do moving forward within your lives. Know that you have someone here that is willing to support you every step of the way. I may not have met either one of you directly, but know that I love you. I have all of the respect for you. If there's anything that I can do to be of a benefit to you, please let me know. If there's any way that you can reach, there's multiple ways to reach out to me. I'm willing to talk to anybody to help anybody. But we have to make sure that we're willing to do that in order to help us build as a community. So thank you again. Looking forward to everything that you all will accomplish. And it's been my pleasure to be here. Everybody take care.
Thank you for the great presentation, Jamal. At this time, we'd like to introduce our next speaker, Nigel Harvey of Cream Skills. In 2010, Harvey started his journey organizing youth basketball tournaments in West Allis, Wisconsin. Harvey enrolled in the Human Services program at the Milwaukee Area Technical College, where he landed an internship at Community Advocates. Graduating MATC class of 2012, Harvey turned his Community Advocates internship into gainful employment.
Missing youth work led him to COA Golden Center, where the constructed and facilitated programs and the professional style basketball league as a program supervisor. Spring 2016, he hit the streets looking for a partnership with small businesses to sponsor his league. With the sports of community leaders and his alma mater, MATC, in the summer of 2016, off he tipped off the first season of the Cream Skills Basketball Association, a division of Cream Skills Inc.
Everyone, please, let's have a warm welcome to Nigel.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nigel Harvey, Executive Director of Cream Skills Inc. And what I'm here to talk about is basically the mental youth and mental health and how it affects youth sports. First and foremost, I love sports. I'm a huge sports fan. I've been playing basketball ever since I can remember. And it really helped me in my situation. I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in the projects. And one of the best things for me to do was participate in some kind of sport. And that was very helpful in my youth development. And I know it can help you guys. So if you are a youth and you're paying attention to this cast right now, I want you to say yes if you're dealing with stress. In the chat box, I need to see some yeses if you are dealing with stress. All right. And that's just not youth. That's a lot of people we dealing with stress. And what you got to realize is that there is a solution. Next slide, please. First of all, you need to get off the couch and get active today. Okay. Well, 73% of parents believe that their child need sports because it helps them deal with their mental health. That's a huge number. All right. Now, what we're seeing is a rise in crime and a rise in couch sitting. All right. We're seeing a lot of inactivity amongst our youth, and that's a problem because it has a negative impact. And what sports can do, it can resolve a lot of those issues. And I'm here to really just talk about that first, but I really need you guys to understand that you need to get off the couch. Playing video games is fun. I love video games. I play 2K all day. All right. I make sure I have time to exercise and I'm very active. Okay. You can still play your video games, watch your Netflix. The thing is, you need to get active today. Get off that couch, get off the Xbox. I'm not an Xbox fan, but PS5, whatever. All right. Get off that couch, get outside, and get active today. Next slide, please. So, how do sports help mental health? What a question, right? How does me playing a sport help me deal with mental illnesses? First of all, sports help you manage stress. Okay, it improves your self-esteem and cognitive function. It also, being active releases chemicals in your brain that make you feel good. All right. Everybody wants to feel good, right? So just being active can help you feel better. Just getting off that couch, go to the park, play some tennis, play something you never played before. All you need is a tennis racket and a ball. Kickball, that's fun. Let's get out there and play some kickball. It'll make you feel good. Win or lose, you'll feel good because of the endorphins that are released. And next slide, please, and I'll show you some more about that. Now we're talking about stress. Now, a lot of people said yes. So that means a lot of us are dealing with stress and trauma, layers of trauma. So sports kills stress. Exercise causes your body to release endorphins, the chemical in the brain that relieves pain and stress. Okay, I'm gonna repeat that. Exercise causes your body to release endorphins. That's the chemical in the brain that relieves pain and stress just from exercise. It also reduces the level of the stress hormones, cortisol, and adrenaline. This amazing fact, though, pay attention, everybody, not just youth, this is everybody. 20 to 30 minutes of exercise each day can make you feel calmer. Just imagine how many people need that. People are just so stressed out. What is stress? Stress is pressure, an abundance of pressure. And what sports does for you, it helps you relieve that pressure. Next slide, please. Like I said, sports kill stress. You stressed out. I'm stressed out. What I go do? I go to the hoop court. Go dunk on somebody real quick. All right. Makes me feel better. The guy that got dunked on, not so much, but hey. Sports help you manage stress. Playing a sport 1 to 3 times a week reduces psychological stress by over 30%. And those engaging more than 3 times a week can decrease their stress by almost 50%. 50%. Stress out of here. Okay, I'm 45 years old. When I tell people my age, they don't believe me. Why? Because I don't look it. I really don't. I'm gonna admit, I feel like I can pass for 35. Why is that? Because I'm very active. I don't let stress boggle down on me. I let my activity help me deal with stress. You got to stay active. That's the whole key to living a stress-free life. Next slide, please. Stress improves self-esteem and cognitive function. I have a summer basketball league that I run, and I'm dealing with youth in the 53206 district and multiple youth, but mainly that's where I operate out of the 53206 district. And I deal with Milwaukee youth that are dealing with loads of trauma, tons of stress constantly. When they play in my league, when they come to my programming, that's gone. That's gone. Because what happens is when you're dealing with so much trauma, years of trauma, picture of it like an onion, okay? It's layers of trauma amongst people that have been through multiple traumatic situations, like the people in the inner city, underprivileged neighborhoods. What happens is so much trauma. When somebody has been dealing with loads of trauma, it's almost impossible for them to think rationally. They need at least 20 minutes before that part of their brain allows them to think rationally. So we have a player, have a bad call. He's stressed out. He wants to cuss out the ref. He's upset, Our coaches don't fire with fire. He's already fired up. So our coach, our mentors do not approach the situation aggressively, and we don't holler at the child. We let them relax, calm down. Because of the trauma, that child is not thinking rationally. They're dealing with a lot of depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, constantly. Friend just got shot. Friend just died in a vehicular homicide. All right. So it also increases your self-confidence. Part of our program, we have a training camp for players have tremendous amount of confidence in their academic abilities, and we let it flourish. Next slide, please. So recreation makes you feel good. All right. Ain't nothing better than that. Who want to feel good? If you don't want to feel good, you just, I don't know. You from a different universe, galaxy, I don't know. But feeling good, it's nothing better than feeling good, okay? So research shows that people who exercise regularly have better mental health and emotional well-being and lower rates of mental illness, okay? These are people that exercise regularly. So you can't just do it once a week and expect results. Okay, being active releases chemicals in your brain that make you feel good, boosting your self-esteem and helping you concentrate, as well as sleep well and feel better. Why not be active? All right, it doesn't have to be basketball. You don't have to come to my tryouts April 29th. 14 to 17-year-olders, April 29th, 5:30 COA. All right, free. My league is free. It will help you boost your confidence by just coming to tryouts. Just coming to tryouts and seeing me. I'm gonna acknowledge you. I'm gonna let you know that you're great. Okay. I want you to feel better. All right. Next slide, please. So what I'm basically telling you is that you need to get active today. Get off the couch. Get off the Xbox. Get out the streets on the corner, just sitting there doing nothing. Get your guys, man. Let's play some football. Play with the neighborhood youth. All right, because youth sports is mental health medicine. It's a form of medication. With that being said, thank you. I appreciate everybody listening. If you want to participate, come holler at me, Cream Skills Inc. I'm on all Instagram, Facebook. I'm on all social media platforms. Like I said, tryouts, April 29th, COA Golden Center, 5:30. Peace, everyone. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the presentation, Nigel. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to do another giveaway. And Charles, do the with the prize. What's the key for the prize?
The key. Okay, so I would like you guys to write in the chat. He said it. Sports kills. What does sports kill?
There you go. Sports kills what? So at this time, we'll begin and introduce our next speaker.
Our next speaker is Tarsha Wiggins. Tarsha Wiggins is the founder of Speak Wellness Behavioral Health Consulting LLC and has 12 plus years of experience in the field of behavioral health. Tarsha is the graduate from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, where she acquired as master in social work in 2009 and complete additional training in 2012 at Arena University, where she earned a certificate as an alcohol and drug counselor. One of Tarsha's greatest strengths is being comfortable having uncomfortable conversations, and this has helped her immensely. Let's welcome Tarsha.
There we go. Start over. All right, guys, thanks so much for having me today. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. Want to embark on a little conversation about your identity and how it plays into your mental health. But before we jump into that, I have to make sure you guys at home are with me. So thumbs up, likes, hit me with the emojis to make sure that I'm not alone out here. And with that being said, let's jump into the conversation. I want to talk about our identity, but first thing first is that we have to identify, or basically, let's define what identity is. I want to use a working definition that this is the fact of being or what a person is. So we're going to spend some time talking about your identity, AKA what you are, who you are, and how that factors into your mental health. When I first think about identity, I start thinking about what kind of things shape our identity. What shapes your identity? Things that come to mind right away is your family, where you live, your socioeconomic status, maybe your religion or family beliefs and norms and customs, right? But then I started thinking a little deeper. I heard a really wise guy say, what you tune into is what you turn into. I'm gonna hit that one more time for y'all. What you tune into, you turn into. So that made me start thinking more about, like, what am I consuming? What are you consuming? Because that shapes your identity too. What does your social media platform say? What are you consuming? What are you feeding on when you get those news feeds, right? Are your social media platforms reflective of twerk videos and fighting videos? Does your social media feed you positive images? Or what about people, places, and things? Those things shape your identity. When you're hanging with friends, when you're spending time, what are you feeding or consuming when you're with those people? Right? Now, I work with a lot of youth, and they always say, oh, Miss Tasha, you doing the most, you over the top. And they say that because I don't just explain things, I like to give illustration about things as well. So For our illustration and to kind of drive home the point of what you tune into, you become, and your identity, I want to reflect back on a very popular movie, Black Panther. Now, I know we've seen it, y'all seen it, I've seen it multiple times. Let's go back to that movie. There's a classic scene in that movie where Black Panther is being challenged on him being the Black Panther. It was a ceremonial tradition that they did. Someone stepped up and said, I'm gonna challenge, run me those hands, right? So they started their fighting, and Black Panther starts to lose. Do y'all remember that part where he was like, bow, 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 and the other guy was like, bow, 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 and he was losing? There's a pivotal moment in that scene where his mother, the Miss Angela Bassett, she yells out to him, show them who you are. I get chills even when I say it now. She yells that out to him. You see him hear her. You see in his eyes, he has this moment of, I am who she said I am. He stepped into his identity. He walked into that thing. And then he went on to beat old boy, and then he stood in his throne of Black Panther, right? I give that illustration because we gotta know, you have to know who you are. What's your identity? What things do you like? What are you consuming? Is that an accurate reflection of you? Now, let me hit you with this point, because this is how does your identity tie into your mental health. A lot of us are struggling emotionally and mentally because we don't know who we are. You don't know who you are. Individuals who are struggling with their identity, looking for who they are. They're looking for validation from people, places, and things around them. When you don't know who you are, the world will try to tell you who you are. Your friend group will try to tell you who you are. Basically, everybody but you is trying to define who you are. And when you're in a place like that, you begin to experience classic symptoms of a variety of mental health diagnoses. These symptoms include that low self-esteem, that lack of confidence. Your mood becomes affected. You start doubting yourself. You start questioning your value, your worth. And then your mood starts to decline. Some individuals struggle with anxiety or worrying and thinking about, what do I say? How am I going to get there? Who's going to be there? Who are they going to like me? That classic worry. Some individuals also start to deal with forms of isolation because they feel like, oh, I don't fit in, or oh, I'm not sure of myself. They want to withdraw, right? So when we talk about your identity and your mental health, the real takeaway here is not necessarily are you solidified in who you are, but it's really about knowing the value of who you are and what shapes that. Some of us are in places where you're still working on your identity. You're still figuring those things out, and that's okay. Some individuals question like, well, are you sure you want to talk about identity? A lot of these kids are just starting to figure that stuff out. They're not sure of themselves. Do you think they'll get this topic? And I'm like, oh yeah, they gonna get it. And the reason why I went on with this topic is because of this. You gotta know, as you start to shape and form your identity, that you wanna make sure you're taking in and consuming those right things. Because if you don't, you may find yourself where you're starting to experience those emotional disturbances or those differences in how you see yourself. And then you'll be in a position where maybe you need help in terms of shaping your identity, where it's okay to get connected with a teacher, a counselor, a mentor, maybe people at church. They help shape and mentor and guide and help you reflect and develop that, who am I? What are you consuming, right? And then there's some of us who are already experiencing some of those emotional things I talked about. And it's okay to get connected with someone that can help you with those things too. And those people would include counselors, therapists, psychologists, and it's no harm in getting connected with those people. That's my time today, guys. Thank you so much for hearing me out. And until next time, speak well.
Thank you, Tarsha, for your presentation. We like to keep the 2022 Youth Summit moving with our next speaker, Clem Richardson. Clem Richardson is the CEO and founder of Mana Behavior Services. He provides workshops, group facilitation, prevention education for youth, alternative schools, church groups, community correctional programs. Also, he facilitates men's issues with collaborative partners, All of Us organization providing stress and mental education and health literacy for adult men. Let's please welcome
Clem.
All right.
Yeah, I already sent it to him. No, you go. I had some music jumping off. I don't know what happened to it. Eric being Raquel, I ain't no joke. Then go with this going to the PowerPoint.
I ain't no joke. I used to let the mic smoke. Now I slam it when I'm done and make sure it's broke. When I'm gone, no one gets on, cause I won't let nobody press up and mess up the scene I set. I like to stand in the crowd and watch the people wonder, damn. But think about it, then you understand. I'm just an addict, addicted to music. Maybe it's a habit. I gotta use it, even if it's jazz or the quiet storm. I hook a beat up, convert it into hip-hop form. Write a rhyme and graffiti in every show you see me in. Deep concentration, cause I'm no comedian. Jokers are wild if you wanna be tame. I treat you like a child and you're gonna be named another enemy, not even a friend of me, cause you'll get fried in the end when you pretend to be competing, cause I just put your mind on pause and I complete when you compare my mind with yours. I wake you up and as I stare in your face, you seem stunned. Remember me, the one you got your idea from, but soon you start to suffer. The tune will get rougher when you start to stutter. That's when you had enough of fighting it'll make you choke. You can't provoke, you can't cope, you should have broke, because I ain't no joke.
See me now? What up, though?
I got a question.
It's serious, the cancer. All right, thank y'all. Thank y'all for having me. All right, welcome. Thank you for having me right here. Mental health matters. The key thing I want you to do is take care of yourself, right? So we're gonna get right into this presentation right here. So I'm gonna talk to you about the 5 Ps today. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Come on, let's say that together. Proper preparation prevents poor performance, okay? Next slide. What does that mean? When you look at that right there, a lot of times we're faced with a lot of different situations in our communities or television. One thing about television or entertainment is to contain you. It enters into you and then it contains you. The key thing, young people, what are you going to do with the decisions that you're going to make? Because once you reach the age of 18 years old, your parents did the best they could do with you. So what does proper mean? Wisconsin, our youth, anywhere between the ages of 15 to 29 years old, have the highest rate of HIV and STDs. Let me repeat that again. Between 15 to about 29 years old, have a high rate of HIV and STDs. Why? Because 9 times out of 10, young people are involved in high-risk behaviors when it comes to sex. Yeah, we're gonna keep it hot, just like the reality television does. Also, preparation. Are you preparing before you leave school? What are you preparing to do? Are you gonna end up like MO3? Or are you gonna end up on the block doing what you may do? So the key thing is, what are you preparing to do? So you gotta start preparing to exit school, and you wanna start having that plan right now. What prevents you? Are you experimenting with drugs and alcohol? Are you smoking gas or young people loud pack? Are you popping perk 30s? I mean, what floats your boat? What are you doing to prevent drug and alcohol use? Because the earlier onset you start experimenting with drugs and alcohol, the more it impacts your brain. One thing about it, once you do that, you end up with poor decisions because you end up in jail. Wisconsin lock up more Black men in the country. We got the highest rate of Black men incarcerated. We talk about for nonviolent crimes, like drug possession or jaywalking or, tickets and stuff like that. So be mindful of that, those poor decisions. And are you doing good performances? There has been an increase of young brothers and sisters graduating from high school, but key thing is, what are you going to do after that? What are you going to do? We got too many that's not completing high school. We got functional illiterates. What's that mean? People that cannot read, don't know basic arithmetics, And they've been smoking weed for so long, they don't even know how to spell if. So how do you take care of your mental health? Talk to someone openly about how you're feeling and how you're thinking. Talk to a therapist. It's not being crazy because you're getting the help that you need. Find somebody that's gonna hold you accountable, someone you can check in with, right? And also get off of that social media. Come on now, Instagram, Facebook, all that. You're looking at beef and you got beef with other people, riding down on them, going by the house, trying to jump out in the cars and fight. That's out of order right there. That's a mental health bit. Talk to someone about that. Also avoid people, places, and things that use drugs, popping pistols, popping pills, out here baselining, jigging around the city. You know what I'm talking about. Driving fast, I bet you young people didn't know about that, huh? The negative music that impact you. So the next slide. So in closing, why I'm so passionate about what I'm talking about. By the time I was 12 years old, I saw enough trauma or drama that could have drove a man crazy, all right? By the time I was 13, I was involved in gangs. I started selling marijuana. By the time I was 15, I started selling powder cocaine at Vincent High School and marijuana. Holla at your boy, I had all that, right? By the time I graduated high school, I didn't have a plan. My brother always told me, if you be good to the game will be good to you. But he'd tell me about the consequences that I was gonna face. By the time I was 19, got involved in a lot of different issues. One of my homeboys was shot and killed on Capitol Drive. Then his brother got out of Ethan Allen School for Boys. He died in his sleep, right? Then I had another homeboy who was involved in drive-by shootings, okay? What happened? My brother was facing 99 years for murder in jail. My other brother's on death row in Chicago, Stateville, Pontiac prison, Black P. Stone. So what happened? What happened? I got involved in that lifestyle for 18 years. When the crack cocaine epidemic hit, I was there when they put the game down. So we got hooked up with some guys from Compton, California. One of my homeboys from Milwaukee knew him, and we started selling and slanging. And me dealing with all that trauma and those issues that I had, dealing with all those deaths, I started using the drug. So I got addicted to crack cocaine. That brought me to my knees, all right? Today, from there, now, I'm a licensed mental health therapist. Today, I have an associate degree in theology. Today, I own properties. Today, I'm an entrepreneur. Today, I'm enrolled in the PhD program. I'm getting my doctorate degree, I'm talking about from the drug house to my dream house now. I'm talking about you can change anything that you put your mind to. So let me share this with you, this last nugget, because I gotta go. 30 years from now, it's not gonna matter what clothes you wore, what tennis shoes you rock, who you clap back on Facebook. What's gonna matter is what you learn and how you use it. So mental health matters. Take care of your mental health. Take care of yourself, all right? And don't become a product of your environment. I just want to thank you for having me at this time. Thank you.
Hey, Jonathan, the Grammy was a crazy look, man. Let's just do a whole vibe together. He's like, yo, you already reading, my mind on that. And we were able to collab on songs. So like I wanted to bring one. I sent it. And he replied, I love this song. And he's still making me sing the whole thing by myself. I really want you to sing the second verse, but I will be grown. What's the use of the sun if the earth can't feel the glow? If it couldn't make flowers grow, it wouldn't be a one.
Wow. Charles, how you doing, man? You doing good?
I'm doing great.
Okay. At this time, everyone, we're going to call Miss Jody Rhodes to the platform to introduce our next speaker.
Hello, everyone. I get the privilege of introducing our finale speaker tonight. It's been a great 2 hours of great knowledge from great speakers, and we have one of the best that we saved for last. He's local, and he has been a great friend and partner of Neu-Life and has helped many a Neu-Life youth over the last 20 years that we've been here on 20th and North. Quabanon Antoine Nixon, nationally known spoken word artist, writer, educator, organizer, and motivational speaker. Born and raised on Chicago's West Side, known in the 80s as the gangbang capital of the world, Quabanon lost his father to street violence at the age of 11. From his early teens well into his days as a young Black man, Antoine, as he was known then, struggled like many of that time to find his voice and his purpose. He moved to Milwaukee to escape a lifestyle that many of his closest friends and family have fallen prey to. He found his voice in art. Still looking for his place and purpose after completing a rites of passage program, he made a transformation to Quabanon when a local community elder gave him that name, meaning inspirator. Since then, Quabanon has dedicated his life work to inspiring not just a generation, but a movement. Please welcome one of our local greats, Quabanon Antoine Nixon.
Killed your leader, Gazebo did it for the people. Love what motivated, I did not do it for hatred. But I truly hate the devil, I cannot debate or fake it. I was asked a question and the asker thought it hard. If I was facing death and I could ask one thing of God, I would ask for every nigga to be free here and abroad. And to be rightfully celebrated as a child of God. And to be rightfully celebrated as a child of God.
I wish I could. I have to do this. And if they're in the other room, they should be rocking side to side. So we break, yeah. Every block, every hood, every city, every ghetto. What's up, family? How y'all doing? I'm Quabanon Nixon. I'm a poet, I'm a writer, I'm a speaker from the west side of Chicago. Listen, I want to say this again, I'm going to say that over and over again. Listen, I can't see you, but I can feel you. And I'm going to give you every word I can give you to make sure I feel you. So here's where I want to start. If you out there, give everybody you heard speaking today, give them the fist for power, give them a fist for power, give them the X for Malcolm, and put your hand over your heart for those you lost. Listen, today we're talking about your mental health. I don't have much to say. It's not much I can say, because saying is nothing compared to doing. I want to start here. You see, we're talking about mental health. Well, let me show you where I want to start. You see, this is an obituary of my uncle who was shot and killed by the police. At 11 years old, I lost my father. I went to school that day like it was nothing. I didn't tell anybody. I didn't talk about it. I just locked it in. For the next several years, I was fighting, arguing, doing everything, trying to find something. I wanted other people to feel the pain that I felt. If you understand what I'm talking about, give me a fist up or give me a hand clap or put it on your heart or something on the screen you at, because I need your energy so I can know you there. If you understand you had pain in your life and you wanted somebody else to feel the pain, put that on there. And I wanted people to feel that pain. Nobody talked to me and nobody was listening. So I had to make a decision. And here's what I want to say when it comes to your mental health, family. Just because it's happening today, don't mean it's always going to be that way. You will never get a rainbow until you will never get a rainbow unless you've been through a storm. And young people, kings and queens out there listening to me, before you go get in a car and make a silly mistake because you're mad at the world, before you go pop one of those stangs because you got pressure and you may be been molested and you may be beaten and you may be abused, before a young lady, you go put your body in the hands of some young man who has no good care for your life. Young man, before you let one of your guys talk you into popping one of those things, getting in the car and going to hurt somebody who worked for them, think about this. I need you to look at this and ask yourself, what's your life worth? What's your life worth? Think about your life, because what you're going through now is not punishment. I promise you, it's preparation. So when you have those days when you don't want to get out of bed, think about your guys that died and lost their life. Think about them. They'll never see the sun again. Young lady, when you feel like I want to quit, think about Fannie Lou Hamer. Think about Harriet Tubman. Think about women before you that stood so you can stand now. Young brother out there, you getting ready to quit the game. You ready to jump off the porch and get in the game at 10, get in the game at 11 and 12 years old. Family, think about this. The time you put into hurting yourself, you could be healing yourself. The time you put into hurting others, you could be healing others. Family, you're not a problem. You are a solution. You what we've been waiting on. Because as the brother just spoke, who better to tell the story of change and triumph than somebody that's been there? Who better to show you how to get out of hole than somebody that's been in the hole? You see, I've been in the hole. I know what it's like to be at the bottom. I know what it's like to climb out. And how did I climb out? Here's some things I want to leave you with. You see, one, there are several things you can do. They told me I end up on the obituary. I let that get in my mind. I let them say it, but then you listen to me. It's not what they say, it's what you believe when you're dealing with your mental health. They said I end up on the cover of an obituary. Listen, kings and queens, I proved them wrong. I changed my mind. I wrote my story and I ended up on the cover of both my books. See, it's not done. It's more than possible. The other thing you got to remember is this. You could turn a mess into a message, but you got to be patient. You got to know that trouble don't last. Listen, look at me. If you out there, if you're feeling me, just hear me out. I know it's crazy right now, but you know what? It snowed today. Great metaphor. It snowed today. It's gloomy outside today. It's spring and the snow is coming down. But here's what I want to share with you. The winter can't stop the spring. No matter how much snow on the ground, it's going to make way for the sun. Every night, the dark skies come, the sun going to come back out. You got to know it's going to come back out. And let me tell you something. You can either be a problem or you can be the solution. Because I know a black man that didn't know his father until he was 11 years old. And I know a black man, the teacher said he was going to be done and wasn't going to make it. I know a black man that thought about drinking, smoking, and doing a number of things to numb his pain. But guess what? That black man took his pain, he took his problems, and he turned them to a message instead of a mess. And guess what he became? He became the president of the United States. This is your book. And if you're looking at this, this can be you. Why not you? So kings and queens, I leave you with three things. One, protect your mind when it comes to your mental health. They say what you put in your mouth comes out your body. Then what you put in your mind comes out your mouth. Feed your mind with the right things. Read the right books. Get the right messages. Look at what's on social media. I won't tell you to get off the gram. I won't tell you to get off Facebook. There are a number of good things that's on there, but you got to be selective of what you see because they call it programming when they play it on the radio. If every day you hear, I'm going to die young, if every day you hear, pop a pill, if every day you hear, crash a car, then eventually you're going to do that. Second thing I want to leave you with, if you ever, listen, when it comes to your mental health, pay attention to who you roll with. Because I got this saying, and you can put this down. If you protect your circle, you never have to worry about the squares trying to fit in. If you protect your circle, you never have to worry about the squares. Circles don't fit in squares and squares don't fit in circles. See, who you are tells me who you with. So if you got people having problems, you got to find the right people. If your guy's smoking, you got to say, no, I got something else. If your girl's doing something, you got to find something else. You got to put something in your mind that produces something. Check your circle. Find the people who get down like you. You see, if you're an athlete, you ain't got time to hang with people who not athletes. If you're trying to go to college, you ain't got time to people who run to hang on the block. You got to find it. And third, most importantly, get you a ritual. Get you something you do every day, all day that helps you. I write, I study, I read, I pray, and that's what I do. So I leave you with this as I get out your way. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. Everybody loves a diamond. That's what you have to give a woman when you marry. It's the thing you have to give her. But here's the thing about a diamond. A diamond was an ugly piece of coal at one time. And a diamond got stepped on, it got stumped on. And the more pressure the coal took, that's why the diamond shines. So all that you're going through is to make sure you shine like a diamond. But if you quit, then you're just gonna be a piece of coal. If you want to shine like a diamond, then you gotta grind like the coal. Peace, power, and prosperity, family. Love y'all. Be straight. Be strong. Your mental health matters. We don't need to save the generation. We waiting on you. I'm your Superman and you are too. Peace.
Build and grow where they live and take care of the kids and the older folk. The queen cause they need it most. Politics with the kings about economic growth. Cure PTSD cause mental health ain't a joke. Feed the hungry and dope. Everyone would know everywhere we go. Every block, every hood, every city, every ghetto.
Thank you for your testimony, Kwamina. That was an awesome presentation. Man, it's always moving to hear your voice, to hear your lyrics. Wow, beautiful.
Okay, you guys, now it's time to wrap up. Thank you for attending our 2022 Youth Summit from Neu-Life. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for participating this evening.
black superhero.